going on, guys? Welcome back to the Big Chief channel. I know your eyes aren't deceiving you. I'm actually here and I'm making a video. I know I've kind of been on a what are we going on, like 5 high break for a while now, and yeah, I don't really have a good explanation for that. I mean, I can't say it's school because I was pumping. I had solid 2 video, out during my school time. All I can really say is that I just got lazy with making this video. That wasn't to say I wasn't doing it. It's just it took a lot longer than it should have. What ended up being a simple, maybe 1 to 2 week, project ended up becoming a 4.5 month project. Yeah, that's all my fault. My bad. But we are getting off topic. That's all besides the point. The point of today's video is not why I've been gone. Well, it kind of is. It's more of what have I been doing while I was gone. And it was not only sleeping. While I did do a lot of that. No. It was in fact making this clone helmet. And I'm going to show you how you can make your own clone helmet just like this to impress your Star Wars girlfriend. Or, I guess just if you don't have one of those, then, well, you're like me. You make it because you want to and not to impress anybody. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, where can I get at least a clone helmet so I can start painting it and doing whatever I want? Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You have, I'm gonna list the main 3 options that you have for that. So, you have option 1, which is 3D printed, which first requires a 3D printer, obviously, and some downloadable files. Those could cost money, but depending on where you look, you could get the files for free. However, the quality of the files may vary. However, the files isn't really the main problem. It's the 3D printer. Now, granted, if you already have one, then this obviously doesn't apply to you. However, to probably the vast majority of you don't have one and are gonna have to purchase one. They usually run from, at least the good quality ones, from maybe $300 to the $700 range. They're kind of expensive, but I mean, they work. They're really great. But again, you don't have to do that. You can, obviously go online to certain websites like Etsy, and that's really it. It's Etsy and I think Mercari. Yeah, Etsy and Mercari, and purchase one from sellers who 3D print them themselves. And you just give them the size and they 3D print it for you. Or you can do the last option, which is the option I did. You can go and buy a resin helmet that was already created, from an outside source. In my case, I bought it from the lovely people over at Cybercraft. I believe they're from Russia. I think so. So, I could be on the US hit list now. FBI, open up! It's fine by me. I'm used to it anyway. Anyway, that's besides the point. Again, getting off topic. It's been a minute, guys. You have to cut me some slack. Now, getting those resin helmets is also going to be fairly expensive. Basically, this whole project, regardless of how you do it, is going to end up being expensive because, to get a helmet, this helmet in particular costs around $400. And again, that's a lot of money, but I didn't want to buy a 3D printer and then, which was, again, at least for me, the one that I wanted would have been it cost me around the same price when I could go ahead and get one, which, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're lazy, get a resin helmet. If you're not lazy, get a 3D print. I guess the moral of today's story is be lazy, don't be lazy. I don't think that's a moral though. That's more of like a lifestyle. Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle. So yeah, I mean, like, again, once you've had your helmet all ready to go, it's sanded, or it's printed, or it's arrived, and you're just waiting for it to paint, now it comes to, well, arguably the most fun part, in my opinion, and that's really painting it. So let's hop over and see the supplies that you're gonna need.
Here is voiceover Landon here, and basically, whenever you find your paint of choice, which will have to be primer since it's the first thing you do. I chose a white primer as you just saw earlier. You are going to give the helmet about a good, maybe 2 to 4 coats. You're going to let each coat dry for about 2 to 3 hours depending on your weather. I'd also recommend not painting when it's windy. I will tell you why in a later clip because I decided to paint while it was windy and it kind of backfired on me a little bit. So yeah, you want to make sure that you give each coat, a pretty good, spray over, but don't overdo it. Don't try to drip it because if you get drips, then it's going to end up looking bad later on. Alright, after you do your primer, the next step is going to be masking, which is pretty fun. So you're going to need to get one thin piece of masking tape, a thick piece of masking tape. You're gonna then turn your TV on, as you just saw me try to do. You're gonna then get your Xbox turned on, hop over to the old Disney Plus app, go to your favorite Star Wars show, put on your favorite episode that is fitting for this project, and then officially the masking can begin. I'd recommend having some sort of cutting tool, like a little sharp knife. I don't know what they're called. The thought just completely slipped my mind. So yeah, but basically you're gonna just mask over your personal design. For me, I'm having sort of an Black Widow hourglass design for my helmet because spiders and all that. In case you didn't know, I like Spider-Man, and I wanted to represent that on my clone helmet. But again, for whatever your design is, you're gonna just want to mask it out completely and just make sure that you have it exactly to where you want it. But yeah, just make sure you take your time with it. It took me about 4 Clone Wars episodes for me to fully mask out my design the way I wanted it to, and it's fun, but you just make sure you want to take your time with it. Alright, after masking your design out, next you want to, again, go back to painting. So, for me and my little design that I've decided to go with, I went for kind of like a dark, deep, like maroon red type of color, and yeah, that was basically it. You're gonna then want to go back outside with your color of choice, and again, with very, kind of light coats, like again 2 to 4 coats of your color, because you want it to make sure that your color pops. So as you can see with this first coat, it's kind of light, but again, you want to make sure that you're doing enough, but don't drip it. That's the quote. Do not drip. Here's what your helmet should look like after your coats are done. So as you can see, the red is a lot deeper, and it's very nice looking. So then you come with probably the most satisfying part of this entire thing, which is removing the tape. Again, you want to make sure to kind of be careful because you don't want to strip the paint. You really won't, as long as you've let it dry enough. But again, there's always a chance that it could happen. It didn't happen with me, but it could happen. However, I've realized the mistake that I made after fully removing the tape. I kind of went a little messy on some of my cut painting a little bit. It kind of left some unwanted marks on my helmet. Luckily, I got it painted over, but still, you want to try to avoid these as much as possible, and I was just not careful. So, my bad. Now for my design, you want to go ahead and go back to masking off the area that you just painted so you don't get any extra and unwanted paint on your design. So yeah, basically just go over all of the areas that you really don't want to be your next kind of, I would say, your primary color, because what we just did was our secondary color. So yeah, take your time. Alright, by this point you should already know how many coats you exactly need and how much you should apply and not apply, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say it anyway. Again, just go over light coats. It was fairly windy today. I have my cameraman Jake Morrison out here, and as you see, the wind was really getting to me. This is why you should not paint while it's windy, because some of the paint can backfire. As you see, I had to switch to some sunglasses for extra protection. I was just, again, this is a good, more or less, like, on what not to do than, you know, a tutorial. So yeah, again, 2 to 4 coats lightly, don't drip, and see the finished product.
How many hours?
2.
It's very black. Do you like black things? Then why are you painting it black?
Alright, after the black has dried and you finish adding your accent colors, you can see the little gray accents that I've added onto the band and the little like earpiece. You're gonna then go to my second favorite part, which is weathering. So you're gonna grab some 120, 150 grit sandpaper, and then just completely just go over the entire helmet with it. You can go as hard or as light as you can, and you can do it as much or as little as you can. That's kind of the fun part about weathering. You just do as much or as little as you'd want. And then after you've done, you know, doing your sandpaper thing, just go ahead and grab some paper towel and just make sure there isn't any like any extra bits just hanging on there. So yeah, just wipe it over with paper towel, and then you should be good to go in your sandpaper part. Alright, last bit of the painting process. Go ahead and grab a cup, some black acrylic paint, and some flat brushes, and a water bottle. Next, you're basically gonna put some black acrylic paint in the cup, fill it with some water, and mix it around for a little bit just to get it kind of like not too liquidy, but you know, liquidy enough to where, you know, it's able to be like applied relatively easily. You then want to go ahead and wipe the entire helmet with with your brush and just go over. And basically what that's going to do is that is going to basically give a black wash over all like the deep places on your helmet and get stuck in all the tiny little sections. Now, if you want it to be less apparent, you're going to then take your paper towel, dip it into, like, spray it with some water, and then wipe over the helmet. But I decided to not do that and decided to just go dry paper towel, and I wanted it to be really weathered, so I went over and just did not wet the paper towel at all and just wiped it as it was. And as you can see here, it got really dirty really fast, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. And I mean, I think the finished product just turned out great. Again, you can do as little or as much as you'd want. Just, again, take your time, and I mean, just look at that. That looks some straight out of a movie. It looks really good. So I hope you all had fun with your painting, and now it's time to add the visor and the little grill piece, and then we are done. Okay, so for your visor, if you got a visor, or if you ordered your helmet from Cybercraft, it already comes with a visor or a grill piece. However, if you didn't, you're gonna get a Hobart face shield mask or little shield thing. Trace out your design, which print up a picture of how the design should be, trace it, cut it out, and then hot glue it into the helmet. You're gonna also grab just any sort of mesh that you can find, place it into the mask, hot glue it, and then wait a little bit. And again, after that, it's really simple. Your helmet is done at that point. I mean, you should be happy. Go ahead, put it on. Do some fun things with it, and just walk around the house, have fun with it. You just accomplished your very first clone helmet. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and we're gonna go back to live action current talking Landon. All right, so goodbye.
And once you have all of that stuff done, you're basically all ready to go, and the helmet's finished. You can you can display it, or you can take off your hat, wear it like so. Is this cool or what? I feel ridiculous. And I know I look ridiculous. What a sad life I live. But anyway, that, my friends, is how you make a clone helmet. That is all I have to say for this video. And I promise I will not be taking that long of a break ever again. In fact, I have 2 videos already in the works, so they should hopefully be out as soon as possible. And again, I just want to... You have my word that I'll never, ever take a break like that ever again. Okay, enough of the movie stuff. I'm gonna go freaking watch Clone Wars now because, well, because it's a fire show. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. That's a good show. Oh, I almost forgot. Toodaloo, buckaroo.